Oh, this Italian tomato, Adriana Trigiani. We love her. She is so crazy. And we're so happy to have her on board. This is the second in a trilogy. Her first book was called Very Valentine, and it follows the story of Valentine Roncalli, who's in this family set in New York, contemporary New York, down the West Village, and they own a shoe company. And so the first book did so well, and it kind of talked about how the real estate prices were sort of, pushing everybody out, and all these independents and these little stores were going bye-bye, and they were doing everything they could to keep this old, historic, traditional company in business. And she had to go to Capri, as I was told. Anyway, that was the first, and she finds love. And now this is a continuation of the same character, and now she's still keeping the business afloat. And there are some wonderful, wonderful characters in the book, and it takes place in Buenos Aires, Argentina. Well, it doesn't take place there, but she goes there to find love and to work on her quest to keep the company going, and it's very funny. She's got a great website too. She's a very smart, very savvy, very funny author. If you ever need a good speaker, Adriana Trigiani is your woman. Okay. I finished this manuscript last week, and I have to tell you, it's amazing. Roger Rosenblatt has written essays for Time, and he's won a Peabody and an Emmy, and he's an amazing writer. He's brilliant. He's funny. He has written books with Harper that Beat, B-E-E-T, which is a send-up of schools and universities and how outrageous some of it can all be, and Lapham Rising, which is a send-off of the Hamptons. And so you get to know Roger Rosenblatt as this very, very sort of dry and sardonic humor. And now comes this book, which is none of that. Okay, maybe some of that. There's humor in there, but unfortunately, it is tied to a true and horrific story. Where his 38-year-old daughter, a pediatrician, married to this hand surgeon, had this great life with these 3 little kids, and she died on a treadmill. She had a heart attack, she had a heart defect, and she died, and one of the children found her. I know. And so what happens is her husband calls to tell Roger and his wife what has happened, and immediately the immediate reaction is that they need to go and live with their son-in-law and help with these children. It's just not even an issue. They're going. And so this is all about making a new life, recreating this life with these new characters and this whole new, dance that they all have to do. He's suffering the loss of a child. This man is suffering the loss of a wife. These children have lost their mother, and it's all about what's happening and how they get to, how it's just a continuation. I mean, there's never a period to the end of this sad sentence, but he calls it making toast because he finds himself so befuddled and he doesn't know what to do. His wife is great because she was a teacher, and so she jumps right into the storytelling, and she's doing through her own grief what she needs to do for these children. And all he thinks that he can do, or all he feels at the time, is that he can prepare breakfast and have a constant for them, so he's making toast. I know.
All right, next up is The Lovers by Vendela Vida. Ever since Away We Go came out, people have been buzzing more and more about her. She co-wrote the script with her husband, Dave Eggers, for those of you who didn't know. Her last book, Let the Northern Lights Erase Your Name, was a New York Times notable book in 2007. So her latest is the story of Yvonne, a widow for 2 years who plans on spending a week alone in Turkey where she had met her husband. Memories as well as mysteries lurk in the landscape, and she finds herself becoming friends with a boy who works at the local beach selling shellfish. And with him as her guide, Yvonne begins to enjoy herself until an accident on the beach throws her fragile life into complete chaos. The Lovers, out this spring, has an unforgettable heroine as well as Vida's wonderful crystalline voice. It's a must-read. And that is all I'll say about that.
Just pass the next one, go to the next one. Okay. The last book on the list is a book that is already out in hardcover and has been out since April, but I can't stop talking about this book. And so I'm telling you about it because the paperback is coming out in April of 2010. She was here today signing books. I think she's just about, or she might still be at Harper's booth. So if you can stop by the booth and get a copy of the book signed, you should. Here's the story. Tori McClure rowed across the Atlantic Ocean in a rowboat that she built, and it did not have a motor or a sail. I know it. It's amazing. She's an amazing she is Babe Diedrichson Zaharias for 2009. I mean, there's nothing this woman can't do. She's a hugely accomplished woman, and she did this 10 years ago, and it took her 10 years to write this book. Everybody's question is the same. Why did you do that? And you really need to read the book to determine why did she read this. I remember talking about this book when it first came out, and I can't stop talking about this book. You've got to read this. We have a gazillion copies at the booth. Please come by. If they're gone, I'll send one to you. I would love to hear what you have to say. This is all about a journey. Obviously, the journey across the ocean, which I must say, she doesn't complete the first time around. And most of the book is about the first attempt because it's all about her internal journey and what she is struggling to discover about herself. And you know what? I'll go into it and then I'll ruin it for you. Okay, but it's just it's wonderful. It's wonderful. I mean, if you think about it, I mean, it seems completely outrageous. It took her almost 3 months to do it. And she actually, when she was getting the boat ready, and I mean, it's not like a little tiny rowboat. I mean, it's equipped and everything. But she actually, at one point, decided to ditch a life raft, an inflatable life raft, and replaced it with 10 pounds of books from the library. Yep. So this is a girl after our own heart. So please check out A Pearl in the Storm, whether it's in hardcover now or paperback in April, and let me know what you think. And she's a wonderful speaker. She spoke at the Texas Library Association, has great footage from Inside Edition and shows that were covering her. Plus, she also brought a video camera on board. And at one point, she was caught in several hurricanes, and she was making a farewell recording of herself because she thought she wasn't going to make it out. And so she has that footage, too. And she includes that in her presentations, and she's really great. So anyway, that's April 2010, which is way far away from now, but just wanted to let you know about that. And if anybody has any questions, come up and talk to us. Give us your business cards. We'll give you ours. If you want to talk about author appearances at your libraries, come to our booth as well, 1911. And thank you so much